Hey everybody, welcome to the Smoke Pit and Smokin Jokin show. I'm one of your hosts, Jimmy King. My beautiful wife isn't here with us tonight. We got a story time with it here in the Smoke Pit, so I convinced the Wizard of Oz to come out from behind the screen or behind the curtain and join me on screen. So you get the pleasure of two bastards on screen tonight. Um, Theo Tort,
Hey,
welcome back to the
what's
camera.
up, everybody? Twofold. What's up,
So
everybody? Yeah, I'm here with Jimmy, and in true smoking and joking smoke pit fashion, we are assuming the identity of two Lance criminals that got voluntold to go on a working party, and we don't want to work because who wants to do that on a working party? And now we're in the smoke pit, just shooting the shit with the NCO. So that's what's going on tonight.
Tonight, for everybody's viewing pleasure, I thought we wait on my camera to decide to focus again. My camera's been drinking more than I have. Um, I thought we'd entertain the crowd with some funny stories of either boot camp stories, barracks stories, deployment stories, field stories, anything and everything under the sun that was just the ridiculous shenanigans that we would get up to while we were in. And, I mean, it can be boot camp, it can be barracks, it can be. I remember this one time when, we're at a club on Lebo or just whatever as far as that goes, and let everybody join in on some laughs. So give me 1 second here. I got to finish sharing.
I'm pasting the link in the comments, and I guess I'll pin it to the. I got it pinned to the top. So anyone wants to call in, just click on that link and stand by. We'll let you in the room.
So I guess I can kick off at least one of them. It's kind of funny that the 1 foot that I have left is the 1 foot that got broke in boot camp.
You broke it for the boot camp.
Yeah, so we're standing on line after hygiene time. So everybody's standing there in their skivvies and whatnot, waiting for the drill instructor to do their health and hygiene inspection. And we had a drill instructor. We only had 3 drill instructors in my platoon. And the junior hat was a corporal in E4. We were his first full cycle. And for anybody who doesn't realize, E4 as a drill instructor is a rare thing as far as that goes. And instead of throwing, just trashing his stuff and the guy coming out to his stuff being spread all over the squad bay, the drill instructor decided to wait. And the guy comes out of the shower, and the drill instructor's sitting there and he's yelling at him about his footlocker being unsecure and getting all up in his face. And he reaches down and snatches up the footlocker and chucks it up over his head. Now, I know he expected it to come down in the drill instructor's highway there in the center of the squad bay where nobody's standing and either shatter or just spill out all over the place or whatever. Mm-hmm. But it went back farther than he realized and landed. Well, it bounced and then landed both on my. It bounced off my foot and then landed on my foot again. Mm-hmm. And mid yell, when it hit, he hears me grunt. And he stopped and he straightened up and he does an about face and he looks at me, looks down at my foot, and I'm just starting to straighten up and I'm about as red as these chairs back here, because I'm just like holding my breath and gritting my teeth. And I straighten up and he looks down at the footlocker, looks up at me, he looks down at the footlocker, looks up at me, takes 2 strides across the highway there and gets right in my face. He's like, "Why the didn't you move?" We're not 12 minutes in, so I'll edit myself. He's like, "Why didn't you move?" And I looked him dead in the eye and said, "Sir, this group wasn't told to move." And he's like, he puts his hand down, does a left face, and just marches down to the drill instructor's office there, slams the door, and you can hear him swearing up a storm and stuff being thrown all around. And I know he thought his career was over.
Yeah.
I walked on it for like 3.5 weeks. I qualified on the rifle range wearing a 12 wide on my right foot when my regular boot size was 8.5 reg. So my foot was really swollen. And we get done with the qualifying Friday evening, where the senior calls me into the office, and he's got one of those big old metal desks, and I'm using a pair of wooden crutches that the platoon just happened to have in the storage locker for whatever reason. And I'm standing there. He's like, "Tomorrow when we go on a hike, you're going to medical." Sir, this recruit doesn't want to go to medical. This guy's sitting with the desk, like right up to his chest. And he doesn't scoot his chair back. He just stands up. So the desk goes tipping over. And it's one of them big old heavy government freaking desks. And it was all I could do to crutch, one step back or whatever. The desk lands about 1 inch from my other foot.
Oh,
can I give you a choice? No, sir. So I go to medical on Saturday when they're doing a hike, and they put me on bed rest on next week's field firing. So I can't go I can't go down range if I'm on bed rest. So, and their medical's not open on Sunday, so I had to wait till Monday. So I missed one day going back to medical, and they're like, "Well, I don't know what we're supposed to do. I mean, you can't put you in a cast. Your foot's already healing. We'll take you off bed rest, but you're on light duty. You can't go down range on light duty either." So I go back, and it's like, "Well, you're going to have to go back to medical and see if they can take you off of it, but that's going to make you miss a second day. So you're going to, have to end up getting dropped back a week." So they end up sending me to MRP.
Whoa.
So I spent 4 months in boot camp instead of 3. And when I was at medical the first time, the docs kept saying, "So what happened to your foot? So what happened to your foot?" And I was like, "I don't know. I just woke up and it started hurting." "I don't know." "Well, you got a break, but I mean, it's already starting to heal. So this must have happened a while back. What happened?" "I don't know. I just woke up and it started hurting." I felt like a broken record. I just kept repeating myself. "I don't know. It just started hurting. I don't know what happened, sir."
Did they make you run? Did they make you run on your foot? Like at first?
Not afterwards. In between grass week and qual week, that Saturday in between was the PFT. So I did run on it then because I wasn't officially on light duty. I wasn't officially on anything. So I had to run. They gave me a choice, either run the PFT or go to medical. I knew if I went to medical that I was going to end up getting dropped from the platoon. And I mean, just like anybody, I wasn't trying to stay in boot camp longer than I had to. So it was like, yeah, I'll run. And I think that was my most evenly paced PFT ever. As I crossed the 1.5 mile mark, and they're reading out the times. As I crossed the 1.5 mile mark, they said 11:11. As I crossed the finish line, they said 22:22. So I ran 11:11 out and 11:11 back.
Was it painful?
I'm sorry?
Was it painful running on that foot?
Oh, yeah. It was like walking wasn't in the boots wasn't nearly as bad because you can kind of force yourself to keep your foot flat to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you still limp and hobble a little bit, but running, it forces your foot to bend it and puts pressure on the ball of your foot, which just makes the bone want to. So yeah, it was. You could feel it moving around the entire time. It was a little painful, but it was actually that morning on the PFT. We was doing the daily 7 or whatever the morning routine was. Mm-hmm. They told us to, the ready seat or whatever to do one of the stretches. And when I dropped down with my legs out in front of me, I landed right on a fire ant hill. And the drill instructor see me sitting there just shaking. And he finally looks over and he's like, well, if they're biting you, then freaking move. I think I went like in an L shape. I went up, over, and down. That night I counted, I had 136 bites between both my legs.
Yeah. That's tough, bro. That's tough. I'm not running on a broken foot. That's really tough, man.
Oh, but yeah, so that was one of my boot camp stories as far as that goes. I mean, MRP was a joke because you had guys in there about talking about, oh, I used to be motivated, but then I came here and now I'm not motivated anymore. And motivated was like their favorite word. I'm trying to get motivated again and stay dedicated and get back to training. It's like, well, what'd you get sent to MRP for? I had the flu. You got a guy over here that's walking around on a broken femur. I've got a broken foot. This guy fell off 3/4 of the way up the stairway to heaven, and you're having the flu.
That flu will get you, man. Okay. And hey, did you see that drill instructor in the fleet?
What's that?
Did you ever see that drill instructor again in the fleet?
No. I wish I would have. I mean, he was, despite being the quote unquote heavy, being the junior hat and being, us being his first full cycle, he was also really cool. Like when we were getting ready for one of our, I don't remember if it was a uniform inspection or if we were getting ready for drill, but we were prepping our uniforms for it. Everybody's got the ironing boards out and everything. He actually brought a boombox out and put some AC/DC on and let us jam out while we were getting ready. Said that's the type of stuff he used to do. I guess he was a combat engineer, and spent the first part of his career in Cuba, having to go out and move mines in the minefields. So to pump himself up, he would listen to stuff like that. And being my type of music, I was stoked that we actually got to listen to AC/DC and Metallica while prepping our uniforms. So
I remember when we listened to Hell's Bells in Iraq, and it was we're calling out the Mujahideen to fight. We played Hell's Bells, and I remember they were like, "You guys are pussy. You don't want to fight. You guys want to shoot and hide from us. Fuck you." And they was just cussing at them, trying to get them to come out and fight. But yeah, they was playing AC/DC, and they was playing Hell's Bells and stuff. So it was a fun day. Yeah, man, boot camp was wild. A lot of funny things going on. I think to warm up to the crazier stories, we all ate the same chow, right? So everybody's gas smelled the same. So people was farting at will. You didn't know whoever smelled it might as well dealt it because it all smelled the same. So this is like first phase, because there's 3 phases for those of y'all watching. There's 3 phases of boot camp. First phase, drill instructor was trying to explain something. Someone just busted ass, like ripped a hot one. And the drill instructor's like, this is the first time I've ever heard anything like this. Drill instructor's like, what the hell is that smell? And then he said, matter of fact, everybody turn on the vacuum cleaner right now. We didn't know what the fuck turn on the vacuum cleaner meant, but he wanted us to, when he said click, he wanted us to go and then run to the other side of the room and then blow out air and then come back. It did nothing. The place still smelled like ass, but I don't know why our drill instructor is so evil. But yeah, that's my warm up. That's my warm up boot camp story. It's gonna get crazier for those of y'all watching.
Yeah. So speaking of those that are watching, for everybody who is watching, so if you haven't already, please highlight in the comments. It looks like quite a few of you already have. Thank you very much. Let's see who we got here. Jamie Hyde, Lance McElhaney, we see out there. Love you guys. My baby's in the audience. Beth, love you, babe. Now, when I started to swear, she said we're only 6 minutes in, so I gotta watch myself for another. Oh wait, no, we've passed 12 minutes. So
we're good now. Let the F-balls fly.
Christy Cossey, thank you for watching. Got storms here in Got storms here messing with my Wi-Fi. Uh-oh. You can keep that there. We don't want any more over here.
Have you seen a graduation recently, or talked to a brand new recruit recently?
No, unfortunately, it's been quite a while. I did see something. Excuse me. I don't remember if it was on Facebook or if it was on TikTok or something on TikTok that was shared on Facebook. Something about the way they're changing the drill manual, the drill instructor's drill manual and stuff. Apparently, they're changing it like your facing movements or as you're doing like a column left, column right, or whatever. They're having them do something different than like when we went through as far as it goes. So it doesn't look quite as snap and pop crisp. It's a little bit more of a pirouette ballet type stuff. I think it was our Major Booker that shared whatever it was that was on there, and he was crapping about it. You know, what are these DIs doing down there? Somebody better lock them on. And yeah, it was.
I don't know who I need to talk to, but they need to incorporate the moonwalk into the drill manual. I think that'd be the next logical step.
Do you ever have any drill instructors do any sing-song cadences?
Oh yeah, all the time.
The most popular one that a lot of guys like in my platoon was, and I don't know why it was so big with them, but the Addams Family.
I never heard that one.
Yeah, they would do cadence to the Addams Family. Left, right, left. Left, right, left. I can't sing cadence, so don't ask, but
yeah,
and
evil.
Everybody loved it until one person decided that they were going to add the snaps in while the drill instructor was doing the sing-song cadence. So he started to sing it. About the second time, he said left, right, left. And it was over.
Wait, a recruit did this?
Yeah, a recruit while we were marching decided to just start snapping.
There's always one, but I love those recruits that would just sacrifice their body for a laugh from the whole platoon. Those are my favorite people. They get crucified for like 15 to 20 minutes, but it got us through the day. We had a guy named Arredondo. He used to hang his ball sack outside underwear at night and put black edge dressing on. He was a Mexican dude, so he didn't have black balls, but he would hang a testicle out his underwear. And he would put, for those of y'all watching, edge dressing is like this black ink that you put on your shoes to make it extra shiny. And so he would take the black ink and rub it on his testicle and pop his testicle out his underwear. And at night, we had to stand on line like this, and the drill instructor would say snap, and we go like this, he say pop, and we turn our hands over, and they had to look us over from head to toe to make sure we didn't have any rash or any like fungus growing on us. So Arredondo, he said this recruit has a weird rash on his testicles. So the drill instructor looked down, and all you see is like a jet black testicle hanging out, some white underwear.
Yeah, edge dressing's like a cross between ink and shiny fingernail polish.
Yeah, you're not getting off your nuts if you're Mexican. So the drill instructor, he drops down and he knife hands the testicle. He's like, "What the fuck is that?" He starts going at the testicle, and like I was crying, not out loud, but like tears are dropping like from my eyes, like crying because I know he was gonna get murdered, but hey, he got murdered. He got crucified for us, and now I have a cool story. It got me through the day. So
yeah,
for those recruits like that, thank you.
Yeah. But my platoon, we the first I literally lived on the quarterdeck for the entire first week. Not receiving, but first training week, I lived on the quarterdeck. There was me and one other kid whose last name was King. So the drill instructors decided that he was going up to port side and I was going up to starboard side. We separated our bunk beds, put one rack on each quarterdeck. And for that entire first week, we lived on the quarterdeck. So anytime someone from starboard side of the squad bay, anywhere on starboard side of the squad bay, if they thrashed, I thrashed with them. Anybody on port side, if they thrashed, he thrashed with them. And the justification that the drill instructors gave was we were the kings of the quarterdeck.
That's what you get for being a king.
Exactly. It also didn't help that all the way through boot camp up until probably the last week or so, maybe not even then, I had an extreme bearing problem.
You laugh all the time, huh?
It didn't matter if they were yelling at the kid next to me down the squad bay or yelling at me. Drill instructors say funny shit,
Yeah, they do.
and they do some funny shit like knife hand on a testicle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, they do, and I could not stop laughing. And I'd be up on the quarterdeck thrashing, and I'd look over it, and here's this, 6'3", 210, 3% body fat guy that looks like he should be a linebacker for the NFL or something, shaking while he's trying to do push-ups and literally bawling because he just can't do it anymore. And I would start laughing because it was funny to me, and the drill instructor would be like, "Oh, good, King wants to laugh. Start over. Fuck you, King. I'm gonna kill you." And I'd laugh more because I'm saying that while crying. It doesn't come out as a threat.
We lost a platoon competition. Remember how we used to compete with like the other platoons in our series?
Yeah.
So there are 2 recruits that couldn't do a pull-up. If they would have done 3 pull-ups, we would have won. Like each one done 3. So when we got back, our drill instructor, he put a knife and fork on the window where the trophy should have been. He put a pillow on the window, and he put tissue. He's like, "This is our trophies. You know why? Because all y'all do is eat, sleep, and shit." I started busting up laughing. It was funny as hell to me. So I got crucified for laughing. But I never, like you say, drill instructors are funny. Who would take the time to tape a knife and fork, put a pillow, and put some tissue on the window just to set up that joke? To me, that's prime comedy. So how could I not laugh? Yeah.
So living over here at the comments, we got Roy Thomas. Hey, Roy. Roy said, "I love when Tor came in and snuggled me at nighttime when I was scared of the monsters under my rack."
It was cold. It was cold. That's why.
Lance in response said, Roy Thomas, he was good at chasing away the boogeyman.
I was.
Jamie High said, one of the times we were at First Sergeant Hill, Calvin Coleman told me Tor was the one who was the Joker.
I have, I'm sure everybody knows, I have 7 daughters. So you can't take yourself seriously when you have 7 daughters. Yeah, I've always been someone to talk shit. I don't know why. That's just been me. And the guy she's talking about, Calvin Coleman, he told me, so you talk a lot of shit, and I did. So I hope when I'm 80, 90, God prolongs my life to 100. I hope I'm still talking shit because it's something I love doing. Yep. So let me ask you a question. Were there any fights in boot camp that you remember?
Yeah, specifically because I was in one.
What was it?
Again, a lot of my stories from boot camp probably in some way, shape, or form revolve around either thrashing or being on the quarterdeck in some way, shape, or form. But there was I was scrawny as a recruit. Not that you could tell now, but there was actually one kid that was scrawnier than at least one that was scrawnier than I was, that everybody hated, myself included. And we were on the quarterdeck, and we'd been up there for at least 30 minutes or more. And the drill instructor was like, "Well, if he could just do 10 push-ups, everybody could leave."
10?
10. Just 10 push-ups.
Marine Corps count or just regular 10?
Regular count.
Don't tell me you didn't do it.
And he gets to like 8 and collapses. Oh, he wants to touch the deck, start over. He gets to like 5 and collapses. Oh, he went, or puts his knees down or something. But he wants to touch the deck. He wants to put his knees down, start over. And then he gets to, thought we was going to get it. He gets to 9 and drops his knees. Now I went from the down position, sprang straight up and over, and came down right in the middle of right between his shoulder blades.
You fucked him up?
Yeah, I slugged him. I punched him in the back of the head, and I got off of him, and I stood up, grabbed the back of his blouse and his belt, lifted him up, put him down in a push-up position, got down, put my elbow right next to his, like, I swear to Christ, you collapse one more time, and I am going to fuck you up. And that's when that took a minute not a minute, but that took, a little bit of time. And the drill instructor is finally like, all right, King, leave him alone. But sir, shut the fuck up. He got to 10 though. And then there was
a motivator.
There was another kid that he was a squad leader, and one of his squad kept messing up on something. He got pissed, and he was doing something, and he ended up grabbing a padlock and turned and chucked it because he was pissed, and it ended up going out the window, or well, I should say through the window, and landed on the senior drill instructor's cherry 69 Camaro.
Ooh.
And cracked his windshield. And before they realized that, they just realized, of course, that it went out the window. And the drill instructor's like yelling at him. And he's like, "Why would you do that?" He's like, "Because wanted to punch the kid and didn't want to get in trouble, so I threw it." He's like, "Well, if you want to punch the kid, punch the kid." He just he did like an about face and slugged him, knocked him out cold. And then the senior drill instructor came up. Who the fuck? Yeah. I'm not sure exactly what happened to him, but he wasn't going to tune in any longer after that.
Hey, that's what insurance is for, senior drill instructor. Well, take it easy. I want to say this, man. I can remember only a few times in my life, I can count on one hand, when I've truly felt like the loneliest. I mean, like overwhelming loneliness, like even though all the lights are on, it still feels dark and cold, lonely. And I think the earliest time I can trace back to is when I took a shit outside of boot camp, like when I graduated and took a shit and there were stalls. I took a shit in the actual stall. Because, you taking a shit in boot camp, there's no stalls. There's like 4 or 5 guys to the left and right of you. There's 4 or 5 guys in front of you. Everyone's taking a shit. You're talking, you're laughing. Those were, it sounds weird, but those were the funnest times during those 3 months, because drill instructor's not going to be in there really bothering while you're taking a shit. So when I graduated, I took my grandma and aunt out to go eat Chinese food, and I had to go use the bathroom. And I sat down in the stall. I just felt so lonely, man. There's no one to talk to, no one to joke around with. So shout out to my boot camp buddies.
Speaking of shout outs, shout out to Steve Michael Bearden. He joined us. Thank you for watching. Jamie High said, I fought a girl at Fort Jackson reception area because she was picking on a girl who was smaller than her. Someone got the drill sergeant, and we were tied together for the rest of the day. Getting a fight with somebody didn't have to be tied.
I beat up some guy on second. Forgot his name. I beat him up second phase because he called me a bitch. Like, we all had to run. I was guide. I graduated guide. We all had to run inside of the squad bay, and he was taking his sweet ass time. So I'm like, "Hey man, hurry up!" And he's all like, "I'll take my time, bitch." And I'm like, "Oh!" I just lost. I ran over him, and I started like pushing him, punching him, and slamming against the wall. And up top, the series gunnery sergeant was watching everything. And he said, "Oh, you want to put your hand on recruits?" So he called me and the other guy in front of the senior drill instructor. The senior drill instructor He goes, "Oh, you want to be an abusive spouse? You want to do domestic violence?" And I didn't understand where he was going. He goes, "I now pronounce you husband." He points at me and he says, "Wife." And so for the rest of the time, dude had to make my rack. He had to get me food. During the crucible, we had to share a hooch together. It was pretty nice. I enjoyed having a wife in boot camp. I didn't get the full joys of having a wife, but I mean, close enough. So yeah, I know what you're talking about, Jamie, being tied to somebody. Hey, you want to pay some bills real quick?
Yeah. Let's pay them bills real quick. So once again, thank you everybody for watching the Smokin Show. It's been being brought to you in part by Artias. If you're looking to sell your services to the government, start your own business, start your own organization, or improve your business, reach out to Artias at yesrts.com. These guys are absolutely amazing. They will walk you through things step by step. They break it down boarding style, keep it simple, stupid, and make sure that you get your mission accomplished. For any service disabled veteran that's looking to do all of the same, you can reach out to Artias, but do it to their organization, VETS365. That's VETS365.org. Once again, they offer all the same business or all the same services for your business, whether it be starting a business, developing your business, saving services to the government, but it's completely free of charge for service disabled veterans. If you like our particular brand of humor, you can join us over on I keep wanting to say VETS365. Join us over on Crown Eater's Wife 1775 on Facebook. We believe in healing through laughter. Our goal is to make you spit your coffee out every morning, put a smile on your face, keep you from going to the dark places. We've also got some cool gear you can check out over on CEW1775.org. You can click on shop. We've got hats, trucker hats. We've got a cool looking flask. We've got t-shirts, hoodies, zip up hoodies, and some other gear on there. Sorry, watching the screen and it's throwing me off now. So yeah, if you want to show us some love and support, head over to the shop and pick yourself up a t-shirt, ball cap, trucker hat, or any other item of gear that you like. It's all made by one of our admin on our Facebook page. Actually, he's got his own veteran-owned business, DA Customs, and Iola's Leather. They do custom shirts, custom hats, custom just about anything. They've got some great leather work and stuff, so check them out at dacustoms.com. I think that's about it. Now that the bills have been paid.
And then in the upper left-hand corner, if you guys scan this QR code right here, you'll be able to go to Crayon Eater's Wife 1775, their website, to order great gear from them. Oh, I wanted to tell you this. I saw a guy get stabbed in the neck in boot camp by my drill instructor, and I shouldn't laugh, but his reaction was so funny I couldn't help but laugh. You know how we have to shave like from our chest like all the way up here for it to be in regulation. So the guy had like a little tiny hair that he missed, and this is at night, and at night, for everybody knowing, we walk around in our underwear basically, and we have our shirt hanging out the back of our underwear. So the drill instructor came out with his NCO sword, and he pulled up his sword, and he looked at it like this, and he looked at the guy's neck. He's like, "It looks like you got a hair missing," and he just shoved his sword to the guy's neck, and about this much of the sword went in the guy's neck, like right here, and it came out, and the guy started bleeding. And the reason I laughed, not because he got stabbed, but he started crying, and he ran away like this, like crying in his underwear. So yeah, the drill instructor, he had to go home for like one day. Then he came back the next day, and he made jokes. He said, "Well, I learned that you can't use recruits as pincushions," but he stayed with us the rest of the time. So I'm not gonna lie, we were afraid of him. Like, I'm like, this guy will kill us. He stabbed somebody. He's still here. I'm pretty sure he'll shoot somebody and still be here. So.
So there was, unfortunately, a death and a funeral. I was in boot camp. We came out of the chow hall and was lining, waiting for everybody to get out and get their rifle from the rifle pyramids or whatever you want to call them as far as that goes. We get formed up and we're waiting on the drill instructor to, start marching us, and all of a sudden you hear this.
Oh, I know. Mm-hmm.
And the drill instructor's like, "Who the fuck did that?" And it wasn't me, but kid raised his hand. "This recruit, sir." He's like, "You just killed one of my fucking sand fleas?" "Yes, sir." "Pick it up." Now, I don't know how the hell you're supposed to find a dead sand flea on the concrete in August at Paris Island. And the kid's like, so he picks it up and he goes, "Put him in your pocket." So he puts him in his pocket. And he calls us to attention and he marches us over to the sand pit. And he has the kid go out in the center of the sand pit and stand there. He has the rest of us sitting Indian style around the sand pit. And he's like, "Dig him a grave." And he's like, "Sir?" He's like, "Recruit, dig him a grave." So he gets down and he starts digging. He's like, "It better be 6 foot." So he dug for quite a while. Luckily, we didn't have to actually wait till he got to 6 foot. But he did get probably at least a good 3 foot down.
Yeah.
He's like, "All right, that's good. Put him in a hole." So he goes over to his blouse, pulls out this sand flea, puts him in a hole, covers him up. Plain taps. So just like in the movie, Jake Gyllenhaal or whoever it was, he had to make bugle sounds playing taps with his mouth. And then the drill instructor goes, "Wait a minute."
Jarhead, the movie Jarhead. Yeah.
And he's like, "Wait a minute. Which way is he facing?" He did one of those numbers. He goes, "That's north. He's supposed to be facing east so he can see the sunrise when it comes up." Digging back up. So he dug another 3 foot hole. This happened when we came out it was on a Sunday, when we came out of chow for morning chow. We completely missed afternoon chow and then went to evening chow. And then after evening chow, we finally field dayed the squad bay and then did hygiene and stuff. All we did all day was sit around that sand pit and watch this kid dig a hole twice to bury a sand flea, then dig him back up and face him the right way and bury him again.
How the hell did he find him when he dug it back up, bro?
He just probably picked up a grain of sand or whatever as far as that goes. But, we're sitting around this sand pit. And you can see people just shaking because where the sand flea is going to be most prevalent?
In the sand.
The sand. And we're sitting around a giant sandbox, just sitting there baking in the sun.
Getting $8.
And nobody wants to slap at a damn sand flea because you don't want to be out there digging with him.
Hell no.
So like you said, drill instructors can be evil.
That's a prerequisite for them to be evil. They tell you to do things that is impossible, like in receiving. I think there's like a week before you meet your actual drill instructors.
Mm-hmm.
When you have to take your piss test. So I remember, you go piss in the cup. This is in boot camp. I'm pissing in the cup, and then the drill instructor, he says, "And you better not piss in the toilet." So I'm thinking, how the hell am I gonna piss in the cup and not piss in the toilet? And so I'm trying as hard as I can to stop my stream. And then I turn around, I'm like, I can't. And the piss is like about to hit his leg. He's like, get that thing the fuck away from me. I'm like, my man. It's impossible. It's impossible to stop it. It's impossible to stop it midstream. I don't know who can, but shout outs to you. Oh, we got a long ass Stephen. You got to read that. Stephen Michael Bearden. You see that?
Boot camp tale from Fort Knox. Phase, misery, heartbreak, and agony location. One of them godforsaken hills, Fort Knox, Kentucky. So, road marching up a beast of a hill, sweaty and miserable, just trying to make it through the day, and bam, we crest the hill and see a convoy of HETs, the transport trucks, carrying M1A1 tanks doing student driver training. One of the privates driving moved on me. Slams on the brakes when he sees us, and like dominoes, a whole line of HETs carrying literal tanks start crashing into each other at the top of the hill. I'm talking tank to tank fender benders that almost wiped us off the map. Guess what happened next? Yep. We're pulled for guard duty on those same wrecked vehicles overnight. Now it's midnight. I and this soldier are standing in the dark, dead tired, guarding tanks, when suddenly 3 skunks come from one side of the road, 3 skunks come from the other side, marching in formation like a damn tactical squadron. Turns out the roadside was covered in MREs, and these skunks were here to feast. We threw rocks at them. They look at us like, really? And just keep marching forward. We got on the radio. Drill sergeant, this is guard post 1. We have 6 skunks in formation coming for the MREs. We threw rocks. They're not phased. All we hear back is laughter, and then just stay on the top of the HET's privates. Let them do what they do. That's Army life for you. The skunks got better tactical training than we did that night.
Hey, did they try to have a female drill instructor when you was in? Did they try it out?
Mm-mm.
You went in 98?
97. I mean, there was the recruit training battalion there at Paris Island where I was at, but there was no commingling.
You know, it's integrated now.
I've heard that. I can't say that I necessarily agree.
These kids are way more professional. That's what I think. Because these kids are way more professional. Because in my day, they had a female drill instructor for 1 week. They got her out of there, and it wasn't the male drill instructor. It was the recruits disrespecting her. So I think this generation has evolved because she was marching us one day, and she's like 40 inches front to back or front to rear, and then this guy, he goes, I'll give her my 40 inches. We all started busting up laughing, but it was constant. Nobody looked her in the eyes because she was stacked. No one looked in the eyes of nothing. No one took it seriously. But now, you know, it's a different core. You know, people way more professional. Liam said, hey, porn stars.
All right, Liam. Joe, Semper Fi, brother, 3rd Battalion, 4th Marines, 98 to 02, 1st BB, 2nd Marines, 07 to 2012. Outstanding.
It's a different core now. My buddy's son, he graduated May 4th or May 3rd. And he was telling me about boot camp. I'm like, it seems softer, but it still seems, you know, like they get away with what they can get away with. But yeah. I can't imagine how your boot camp was. And then can you imagine how like Vietnam boot camp was? If boot camp gets softer and softer, imagine the guys in Vietnam. They must have had hell.
Yeah. I mean, I look back at boot camp and laugh now at stuff. It's obviously sucked while I was there. And I won't say that I thought while I was there, and even now, I don't think it was soft, But if I'm completely honest, even though my recruiter told me, well, it's not like this, they're no longer allowed to touch you, whatever. I fully went expecting, Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, you talking about Vincent D'Onofrio shooting himself in the bathroom and stuff? That's what you expected?
Yeah, choke yourself, not with your hand, with my hand, and the gut punches and stuff. I mean, our drill instructors, they didn't do any of that. They did find ways to inflict pain in certain ways, like tell everybody to get in the head, and you can only use the one doorway to get into the bathroom, which is right across the hall from the drill instructor's office. So once everybody's piled up trying to get through that one doorway, they'd come speed walking through with their elbows out, and you'd be surprised at how hard they can make that little movement turn into an elbow strike against your kidneys. But you can't quite tell which one it was because everybody tries to make a hole for the drill instructor, but then closes right back up, so you can't tell if it was a drill instructor kidney punched you or if it was another recruit kidney punched you. But moving on from boot camp, because we have been talking about for a minute.
Oh shit! Oh yeah! Damn, the time's flying.
So, question after boot camp, hitting the fleet. What's the craziest thing or funniest thing, whatever you want to call it, that you've seen around the barracks, whether it be at Pendleton, in Okie, on deployment, whatever the case may be as far as that goes, or 29 Palms if you stayed in the Quonset huts out there. What's the craziest, goofiest thing that you've seen in a barracks situation?
I got a list of at least top 10 with an honorable mention. What jumps out in my mind is our friend Abalama. Shout out to Abalama. He ate rainbow colored dicks on Smokin Jokin. One time he ate candy colored dicks to make us laugh on Smokin Jokin. Abalama's always been what I call a special individual, and he was on duty, and I was his A duty, and this is at Mateo, and Abalama's walking around, and I go to find where he's at, and he's on the third deck of the Red Tops with 5 Bacardi 151 shots. He lights them on fire. This is Abalama on duty. He lights it on fire, then he takes shots of all 5, and he just keeps on. He just keeps it moving. So that's always gonna stick in my mind as definitely one of the craziest things I've seen in the fleet. Matter of fact, after that, I said I must gain the superpower of drinking 151, and that started me on a serious journey of alcoholism. So thank you, Abalama. Shout out to you for making me a committed alcoholic. What about you?
Like you said, there's quite a few of them. One of them, as we were talking about before the show, was I can't even remember what he was screaming at people. But we had this one cat that was just goofy. And I don't know if he had been day drinking or if this was just him sober and he was fucking around because he was goofy like that. But he came out of his room wearing a horned Viking helmet, a poncho wrapped around his neck like it was a cape. He had a wife beater on, but he'd taken the front of it, tucked it up under, so it looked more like a sports bra or crop top or something. I don't know. A pair of silkies that was probably a size too small, and his combat boots, unlaced, but flopping in the wind and everything as far as it goes. And he had, I don't remember if it was a toilet plunger or a toilet scrubber in his hand, and he was running around yelling some crazy shit at people, and he'd run up and he'd pop them on the head and then take off laughing hysterically and knocking on people's doors. And I mean, it was goofy as all hell.
I thought you was gonna say he graduated, he grew up, he became the January 6th shaman. I was gonna say that. Okay, I got a piss test story to tell you about. Matter of fact, I hope Sergeant Santiago is watching this because he was part of it. And this guy named Lance Corporal Tissue. So in the Marine Corps, one of the gayest things they give you, they reward you with your NCO is to watch cock when somebody pisses to make sure that they're not putting fake piss in the little cup or whatever. And Tissue had just got a tattoo out in town. He got a tattoo of Arnold Schwarzenegger on his left ass cheek, and it said, "I'll be back." So Sergeant Santiago, he had to watch cock, and Tissue went in, he dropped his trousers, and he started pissing in the cup. And Sergeant Santiago goes, "What the fuck is that? Is that Arnold Schwarzenegger on your ass?" And Tissue starts laughing. And then he looks close, he's all like, "Does it say I'll be back?" And Tissue just starts busting up laughing, but he's laughing so hard that he farts. And Sergeant Santiago goes, "Oh, did you just bust ass?" And Tissue starts laughing again, and he farts harder, and a little bit of shit comes out. And Sergeant Santiago goes, "Oh, he shit on himself." And then Tissue, he can't stop laughing, but he has to take a shit. So he turns around and he sits on the toilet that everybody had been pissing on. And Sergeant Santiago's like, "Oh, don't sit on the toilet. People have been pissing on it." And Tissue's just sitting on the toilet like this, and he's busting up laughing. And I remember, because when you take a piss test, they do it in order. So it's TI and then TO for tour. So I'm watching all this go down, and I'm thinking, damn, I can't wait to EAS. This is not what I want to be doing with my time. But shout out Tissue if you're listening. You definitely made it to my top 10 weird stuff I saw in the fleet. Yep.
All right, so Jamie High said nowadays in Army Basic they are allowed to have their cell phones on Sundays. That's crazy, but true, unfortunately. And the add-on to that I won't go into the whole long story, but I know from personal knowledge to an extent, not that I went to boot camp, but I know somebody who went to boot camp and they were there at Christmas time. And this was actually during COVID, which made even less sense. So during COVID, they had X amount of time once they got there. It was like 2 weeks or something like that. They had to isolate before they could even start training. Mm-hmm. They're going through training. And like she said, they got their cell phones on Sundays and whatnot. And then Christmas comes up. You know, they let these kids go home for 2 weeks.
This Army?
Yeah. The Army let the kids go home for 2 weeks during Christmas break while they were in boot camp.
Makes sense.
And then they had to come back and isolate for a week when they only had a week's worth of training left before they graduated.
No, that makes sense. Shout out to Davila. Me and him fought. We fought in my room. He was a corporal. Davila, I hope you remember this. He was a corporal. I was a lance corporal. I think he's laughing at it. And he asked me for my lighter. So I gave him my lighter, and then he put it in his pocket. I'm like, "Corporal, can I get my lighter back?" He's like, "You mean my lighter?" I'm like, "If you want to steal my lighter, I mean, just say so, but it's my lighter." And that led into him giving my lighter back. And then he followed me while I took my lighter back. And when I got my room, I said, "Hey, you come into this room, ain't no rank in this room." You know what that means. So he followed me in the room, and I won't say what happened, but yeah, we threw down. So respect the village. He didn't NJP me or nothing. We just it's just two men figuring it out. But shout out to the villa.
He laughed. Said, "Are you serious? We didn't have them. We didn't have ours. That's crazy. Boot camp was wild, but looking back, it was a vacation compared to the chaos of life today. At least it had structure and purpose." Yeah, the structure. Well, yeah, I'll just say yes.
Yeah. Structure. The village said, "Jandris, you're peeling off third deck naked." I wish he would call in so I could hear about this. I wish he called this up. There was a lot of nakedness going on in boot camp. I saw a guy. He went into a piss test naked. I think they call him Schmiegel. But yeah, he walked into a piss test fully naked. And it was in Okinawa. It was funny as hell, man. Again, shout out to those Marines that did the weirdest things just to get a laugh. Because being in the infantry, it's a tough life. It's not like being in admin where you get to go and see your wife and kids every day. Like it's real tough being an infantry.
Yeah.
Damn, we
Speaking
got
of,
5 minutes, man. Damn.
I had a guy, won't name names. We ended up in the same bar one night. We'd gone in different groups. I'd gone out with some guys. Another group of guys ended up showing up. I mean, it's Camp Pendleton. There's only but so many places people are going to show up and go drinking, right?
Mm.
He gets just obliterated. Like, can't see straight, can barely walk. They basically carried him out to the car, went back in and went back to partying. Well, I guess while he was sitting in the car, he woke up and realized he had to shit. So he decided that the guys, because it wasn't even his car, it was his buddy's car, but he decided his buddy's cup holder made an appropriate toilet. So he decided to shit in the guy's cup holder, pulled his pants back up, and passed back out in the passenger seat. Like, I mean, I wasn't there. I almost wish I would have been there just to watch, because it's like, how do you get in position to figure out how to shit in a cup holder of a Honda Civic?
That's some Rick and Morty shit. That's like where Rick gets drunk and shits on himself. Oh, God damn.
I mean, I had to try and figure out. I mean, he wasn't super tall or anything. He was only like 5'7", 5'8", but still, it's a 4-door Honda Civic, like a 2000 Honda Civic or something. Maybe not even that new. But how do you get in position and line up and actually shit perfectly into a cup holder?
He has skills, or he had precision with his anus. That's what he had.
I mean, he was a mortarman, so I guess, call for fire. He was used to taking.
Yeah. Yo, hey, do you remember Vermelin? You know who Vermelin is from Echo Company 2nd Platoon?
Sounds real familiar.
When I tell you the story, it should ring a bell. Never underestimate an American hetero male's sex drive. He'll find a way to get a nut off. This is, I think it was August, or it was one of the hottest months in Iraq, and those porta potties, they don't have like ventilation in it, so when you're taking the shit, you're sweating, and all the shit that you're sitting on top of, that scent is coming up. So Bermelin, he gets a porn mag, and he goes to the porta shitters to take a shit and to service himself. So he's in there jerking his gherkin, as they say, and we get mortared, bro. And a mortar chunk goes through the porta potties, and it hits him in his ass while he's jerking off, bro.
Oh my God.
So he got a Purple Heart from that. But that's just, he got hit in the ass by a mortar when he was jerking off at, I think it was like 130-degree temperature. So shout out Bermelin if you're listening.
How'd you get your Purple Heart? I got hit in the ass by mortar fire while cracking stick.
Oh man. Well, it's 2 minutes left. You want to do a commercial and then we'll sign off?
Sounds good. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching the Smokin Jokin show tonight. We hope that you've enjoyed some of the funny stories that we've been able to provide for you. Tonight's show has been brought in part to you by Artias. So anybody that's looking to start their own business, improve their business, sell their services to the government, start up your own organization, reach out to Artias at yesrts.com. These guys are absolutely amazing. This guy right down here. They will walk you through everything step by step, basically hold your hand for you, break it down Barney style, keep it simple, stupid. I mean, if Mike Crown Eating Ass can follow along, I'm sure you can too. And they will, bend over backwards, make sure that you get your mission accomplished. For all service disabled veterans that are looking to do all of the same things, you can reach out to Artias, but do it through their organization, vets365.org. That's VETS365.org. They offer all the same services Artias offers, but for service disabled veterans, it is completely free of charge. And for those of you who like our particular brand of humor, you can join us over on Crown Eater's Wife 1775 on Facebook. We believe in healing through laughter. Humor is the best medicine. So it's our goal to make you spit your coffee out every morning. If we can put a smile on your face and make you laugh, maybe we'll keep you from going to the dark places and become part of the 22. And here's some examples for you. So, yeah, all your military humor, your dark, your inappropriate, your explicit humor, you'll find on our page. And if you join us and you post on our page, you don't have to worry about people seeing it unless they're in the group.
My grandma's in the group, by the way, man.
And if you want to check out some of our cool gear, check us out on cw1775.org. You can click on shop and it'll take you there. We've got ball caps, trucker hats, t-shirts, hoodies, zip up hoodies. We've got a cool flask and some other gear coming here for long. All proceeds go to Carnegie Wife 1775. We are looking at finishing off our 501c. We just got to pay the bills on the federal side because it's no longer free. But we do have some cool gear. So check us out. CW1775.org. We greatly appreciate your support. All products that we have made are made by a small business owner who's also a fellow Crown Eater, David Aiello. He's got Aiello's leatherwork, and he can do all sorts of custom belts, knife sheaths, any type of leatherwork. He does custom shirts, custom hoodies, custom just about anything. Give him a shout out if you've got custom ideas, and he can get it done.
And that's dacustoms.com, customs with a K.
Yes, there you go, dacustoms.com. That's one of our Squad Leader book covers. I had him make that up for me. Actually, I got it sitting right here. But yeah, check us out. Love to have you join. Once again, in the smoke pit here on the Smokin Jokin show, we'd like to say thank you for watching. We love you guys. Join us again on Thursday. We'll have another special guest for you. Talking about some good stuff. Drawing a blank at the moment. I'll blame the TBI. It's a good catch-all excuse. Theo, thanks for coming on tonight. I know you prefer to stay behind a curtain, but thanks for coming out. Love you, brother. Just want to tell some funny stories, put a smile on people's faces. So thank you. Love you guys. Have a good night.
Bye, guys.